Hey, what I learned today. These are short videos that are little bits and snips of things that have helped me along the way that I want to share with you that I hope will help you too. So this is number 5, and in this video we're going to continue talking about the explosion diagram of art. This is a concept that I like to use to help people break down the process of drawing into separate pieces that you can practice individually. This is number 5. This is what I learned today, number 5. And in number 4, we talked about this. We kind of explained what this concept was, the explosion diagram of art. And I'll link to that in the bottom so you can go back and reference that. But today we're going to start talking about line. And there's enough in each one of these for me to make several videos of each one. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a video for each one of these, and then I might come back around and start again from the top and go through again. And that way we'll get some variety in there, and we won't just keep, a monotonous process on line, shape, etc. And of course, I'll probably break it up with some other things along the way as well. But let's talk about line. How do we practice drawing line? In some ways, it really is just as simple as drawing lines, but I think that there's some techniques that we can use to practice effective lines. And remember, this is all about hand confidence. You're not just drawing lines to be mindlessly drawing lines. There is a purpose and there is an intent, and it is hand confidence. It's to strengthen the connection between your brain and the muscles in your hand so that it just becomes muscle memory. So you're able to do these things fluid and confidently without them being an impediment. They actually become a tool that work for you rather than something that you have to struggle with. So practicing lines, a couple of techniques for that. Drawing lines that start and stop at the same point, or to the degree that you are, comfortably able to get them to start and stop at the same point. Do a whole section of these that are, a reasonable length, long enough to get some spread on them, and then go down the side of a paper. And then do a section, that are a little bit longer. And then continue down the side of a piece of paper, and then finish your page with those. Some things to keep in mind. You want to be moving your hand right at the edge of what's comfortable. So if you find yourself making lines and things are starting to get a little bit out of control, dial it back, go a little bit slower. So you don't want to go so fast that you're losing control, but you also don't want to be going so slow, that you're going to get wobble, and you're not teaching your hand to move confidently, smoothly, and efficiently. So horizontal lines are one to practice. Practice going the other way as well. You do a few rows going this way, do a few rows going that way. And then think about diagonals. You can do a sheet of paper for diagonals going this way, some going that way, and then change the direction. Some going this way, some going that way. And what I mean by that is the start point and the stop point of the line, right? Do the same thing with some verticals. And again, you make a row and you fill up one whole row across a piece of paper, then do rows that are a little bit longer. Start point is the same and the stop point is the same, or as close as you can manage it, going as fast as you can go without losing control. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. It's really as simple as that, but highly effective. You're teaching your hand to move smoothly and confidently. And those should be the main lines that you're practicing. The horizontals, the verticals, the diagonals, for now. Like I said, can make several videos about each one of these concepts, but I want to start there. Something, relatively easy to digest. This practice doesn't need to take a lot of time. Let's say 15 minutes every day. But the key is consistency. It's got to be every day. And if you can do more, that's great too. But at least 15 minutes every day, practice drawing some lines. Can't emphasize enough how much benefit this is going to have for the confidence in your hand. And it's a great way to warm up too. Even if you're a more advanced artist, this is something that's good to keep up on and keep maintenance on, because we can always get stronger in these. There's no point that we get to where we've mastered these things so well that we just never need to think about them again. One quick note that I wanted to make is regarding how our hand is moving when we're practicing these lines. And you will notice that when I'm making these lines, my hand is staying relatively still. I'm not doing this, where my hand is planted flat on my wrist and all the movement is coming from my fingers. The movement is actually originating from my shoulder. To some degree, it's in my elbow, very minimally in my wrist, and not very much in my fingers. The reason for this is that we want to train our bodies to have as much control starting in the place where we have the greatest strength and the most efficiency of movement. And that's going to be in our shoulder and our elbow, very little in our wrist, and almost none in our fingers. Certainly there is time and place for us to be having small little strokes where we are going to be using our wrists and our fingers. But again, training our bodies to develop the muscle memory of having all of that confidence and strength in our shoulder and in our elbow. This is good for posture. This is good for long-term health. It helps avoid things like tendonitis in your elbow, carpal tunnel in your wrist, arthritis in your fingers. These are all serious things that can afflict the artist. And the more that we take the time to help our body train in the proper way, even at the times when we are using the tighter focused movements of our fingers and our wrist, the great majority of the weight is being carried correctly in posture and in muscle movements originating from our shoulder and our elbow. So really try and focus on that, sitting up relatively straight, letting the core of your body hold your center of gravity, and then letting your arm swing freely from the shoulder, a little bit from the elbow, very little from the wrist, and almost not at all in the fingers. Okay, if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments. See you later.